Well, a very big hello to you this morning and welcome to another Monday morning Selah. Now, if you have not met me yet, my name is Sarah and I'm really excited to explore this psalm with you today and hopefully you can get a little bit of encouragement out of it. Now, the one I've chosen to look at today is Psalm 20. Now, Psalm 20 is obviously fairly new to the beginning of Psalms and has quite a lot of good themes in it. Mainly kind of the overall theme of this one is really trusting in God no matter the situation. So I'm just going to start off by reading it. May the Lord answer you when you are in distress. May the name of the God of Jacob protect you. May he send you help from the sanctuary and grant you support from Zion. May he remember all your sacrifices and accept your burnt offerings. May he give you the desires of your heart and make all your plans succeed. May we shout for joy over your victory and lift up our banners in the name of our God. May the Lord grant all your requests. Now this I know. The Lord gives victory to his anointed. He answers him from his heavenly sanctuary with the victorious power of his right hand. Some trust in chariots and some in horses, but we trust in the name of the Lord our God. They are brought to their knees and fall, but we rise up and stand firm. Lord, give victory to the King. Answer us when we call. Now, from the start, this kind of really gives a kind of like, I guess I'd call it like a victory cry or a war cry kind of vibe to it, very much a victory song, I guess that's what you could call it. And I just really feel that there's a lot of verses in here that really kind of speak to us as being Christians. The first one I kind of really want to talk about is just verse 1. So, may the Lord answer you when you're in distress. Now, I think this is really a really important part of being a Christian is kind of remembering that God is always listening. And even if we're struggling, he is not going to let us go. And if we choose to call out to him and ask for help, he is going to be there. So continuing to pray, especially during this kind of crazy pandemic, just continuing to call out to God for him to act in new and different ways, that he's going to continue to keep working in people's lives during this situation, and maybe seeing that just during this situation, things are going to change, despite what's going on around us. Now, I think also like reading through Psalms, this is something that kind of keeps coming up again and again, specifically the word refuge, which really kind of speaks this verse. Refuge and strength. God, we always kind of compare God to our refuge and our strength, but I don't think sometimes we really think about what that is. Refuge and strength is that we can fully rely on God without ever having to worry that he's not going to be there. And anytime we fall, he is going to be right there by our side to pick us up, to hold our hand, and to take us through whatever situation we're in. Now, another verse I really want to look at is Verse 4. May he give you the desire of your heart and make all your plans succeed. Again, this kind of goes back to the kind of trusting in God. Make all your plans succeed. We don't need to be worried about the future ahead, or what's going to happen in next week or tomorrow or in 3 years or 10 years, as God has a plan for our lives. And if you just continue to keep God at the forefront of your mind, and your soul and your heart, he isn't going to let you go. And if the plans align with God's plan, then it's going to be an amazing ride. When you choose to let go of your own desires and choose to trust God's desires, amazing and wonderful and crazy things happen, and you will see your life change in ways that you never even imagined. Now, I think also just making sure that kind of praying into whether your plans for your life are God's plans for your life, that is something that's really important, as if you kind of tend to steer down the wrong path, God will make sure to move you back onto the right one, and you will end up in the right place. Now, another verse that I really want to go, so kind of near the end, it's some trust in chariots and some in horses, but we trust in the name of the Lord our God. Now, ultimately, especially during this pandemic, it's really important to know that God has control in this situation. God can see your pain, he can see your suffering, he can see that your stress, your anxiety, things that used to be normal, like going to Tesco, has suddenly become such a strange and in a way kind of scary thing, especially with lockdown starting to lift. And I think personally I found it weird and hard to just do the normal things of life. But I want you to know that we don't have to trust in, well, we obviously we can trust in the government and in our country, but we trust in God. God ultimately has control over all of this, and if you just continue to trust in him, everything is going to turn out all right. And we don't need to worry or be scared. It says, do not be anxious about anything, but in prayer and petition, present your requests to God. If you do that, God is going to be there and he's going to hold your hand. Like I said with that at that beginning there, God is going to get you through whatever is going on in your life, and especially with what's happening right now. This isn't going to last forever. And also it's important to know that God does have a plan in this, and just keep your mind on that, and don't continue to trust in the name of the Lord our God. So we can also trust in, obviously, in the chariots and in the horses, but really, really trust in God, because if you trust in God, everything's going to turn out okay. Now that last verse, one of those last ones, so they are brought to their knees and fall, but we rise up and stand firm. So it's really important to, especially during this, just to keep standing, keep fighting, because God is with us. We have the power of God with us. Whenever we do anything, God is with us, and it's just really important that we continue to pray and stand firm, even if it doesn't feel like God is there. Which I don't know about you guys, but sometimes it doesn't feel like God's with me. I question, I'm like, where is he? But he is always there, and it's so important to take those times of your life where you know that God's been with you, or look back and be like, God was there. I want you to really think of a situation in your life where you maybe at the time were not sure where God was in the situation, and looking back, you've seen where he was or why it happened, and you were like, that's where God was. So really rise up and stand firm, and can you continue to trust in God's plan over your life, and ultimately we have that victory cry to get us through whatever situation. But I think overall the kind of the general theme of this psalm is just trusting in God, in his plans for your life, in situations, in wars, in everything. God is there, and just if you continue to trust in him. Now the way I like to really see this is if you look at a jigsaw puzzle piece. Now, one jigsaw puzzle piece on its own makes no sense. If you turn it upside down, it just doesn't make any sense. Even if you have 20, 30, 40, 100 jigsaw puzzles all muddled up, all mixed up, it doesn't make any sense. But when you start to put that puzzle together, it might even be upside down, and you still can't see the plan in it. But once God turns over that jigsaw puzzle for you and you look back, you can see that God's plan, you can see that God was with you every step of the way, that he never let you go, that he never stopped holding your hand, that he was always there. And we may question whether he was there or where he was, but all you need to do is look back in your life and know that he was always there. And if he was there during that, he's going to be with you during this. And I think that is just really important to hold on to. And God has a purpose for every single thing that happens in your life, and all situations, both good and bad, there's a reason. And but just it's so important to realize that God is never ever going to lead your side. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to finish today with a quick prayer. So, dear Lord, I just really want to pray into this psalm today, Lord. I really just want to pray for everyone out there that's watching, that you just kind of give a real fresh and new look and a new trust in you today, Lord, that no matter what's happening outside in the world, that we can continue to trust in you and in your heart and in your desires for our lives, Lord. I just pray that you really awaken a new belief and a new trust in you, that we can continue to hold on to you no matter what, and that as we're walking the road of life, that you're never going to let us go. And if we call out in distress, you're always going to be there, Lord. And I pray that just whatever's happening, Lord, you help us to rise up and just continue to stand firm in our faith with you in this wonderful thing we call life, Lord. In your name, and amen. Now, I hope that did give you a bit of encouragement today, and whatever you do, I hope you have a really wonderful day, and I will see you all soon.